Welcome. Today we're going to be making a three-dimensional flower picture. This is one that I've made already. You see that? To celebrate spring and April and all the beauty that God provides around us. So, to make our picture, you'll need 2 pieces of paper. You can have more than 2, depends how many flowers you want to make, but you need at least 2. You'll need some tape, or you can use a glue stick. A glue stick is fine. You can use, you will need to use scissors, and you'll need some colors. And the colors really depend on you. I have a whole bunch of colors today. I opened up a brand new box of markers, so it just depends. As you know, out in the world, there are yellow flowers, there are purple flowers, there are red flowers. Whatever colors you have will be wonderful. So, to get started, we're going to make the background of our picture. That's kind of a funny place to start, isn't it? Normally, we start with the front, but we need a background. And then we're going to put the flowers on top of the background. So, you can make your background as beautiful as you want. You can make it all sorts of colors. I did one already that I was going to show you, just to show you what I mean. It's going to be, for example, I put green because I thought, I want grass on the bottom and I kind of want sky on the top. So this was mine. But I'm going to do a different one today. You want to do one with me? So choose some colors and you're going to color the whole paper, whatever background you want it to be. Okay? Here we go. So choose some colors. And I think today, let's see, I'm going to start with yellow today. Let's see if my yellow works. Do you have yellow? Yeah? Okay. So let's do, I'm going to make, you see, all I'm doing is coloring the background. That's all I'm doing. I want the whole page to be color. Because white's okay. White background is okay if that's what you'd like. But giving the flowers the beautiful colors of the background. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm just coloring. Whoops, I slipped. That's okay. It's just meant to be beautiful and bright and colorful, just like the world out there that God provides for us. And sometimes, so I've got my yellow. Did you choose yellow as well? Yeah? Okay. Yellow's a good color. I think I'm going to add some blue to that because sometimes the days are rainy. Aren't they rainy sometimes in spring? So maybe, I think I might add some raindrops to this color that I've got going here. So maybe some little raindrops. And remember, this is your background. So it's whatever you want it to look like. When you imagine going outside, do you see clouds? Do you want clouds in your picture? Do you want sun in your picture? What would you like? Because this is your beautiful picture. Just like you are the creation of God. You're yourself. You're the only one there is. Make this a beautiful creation that you're making for today. So I'm going to, I don't know. Do you think those look like raindrops? Kind of, a little bit. Maybe. Okay. And then I'm going to put, I think I'll put a cloud. So if I have raindrops, I probably have clouds. But please remember, we're going to be covering up a lot of this with our flowers. This is just a background. So a lot of it's going to get covered up. But that's okay. Let's keep going. All right, so keep going. I'm going to color my clouds kind of a blue, I think. And are you using yellow and blue? You choosing green or maybe purple or red? Choose whatever colors you think would go really well in the background. Anything you would like. All right, I'm going to do 2 clouds and then, so you see I just did some round and round and round and round and that made my clouds. I hope they look like clouds. I don't know. That's my idea of a cloud. And then I have my rain. It feels like, I need some spring rain. I'm going to put in some, how about some green for the bottom? I'm going to go with green again for the bottom. And there's no perfect way to do this. However you do this is wonderful, because we're just creating the background for our flowers. And when you're done, you'll have just all colored. This is this one. As I said, I did this one earlier. It's kind of similar, but I decided, I don't know, which one do I want to use? I don't know. You could use any colors you want. I'm going to use this one for today's picture. So once you have it all colored and it all looks exactly like what you want it to be, I'm going to set that aside for right now. I'm going to use our other piece of paper. And I slipped a little bit. I colored on my piece of paper, so I'm going to use the other side. Okay? Now we talked last time about how to fold a piece of paper like a hot dog. So we're going to fold this one like a hot dog, which means we're going to fold it long ways like this. Do you see how I folded it in half? That's a hot dog shape, or that's what I'm going to call a hot dog. And let's fold right along this line. So there's my fold. I'm going to go upwards from my fold. And now we have, does that kind of look like a hot dog? Maybe? Okay. And now we're going to fold it short ways like a hamburger. So we have our hot dog, and now you're going to fold it in half downwards, just like this. You see? And we're going to make our cut lines match up down here at the bottom. So as soon as they line up, do you see how they line up with each other? Like that? Okay. As soon as they line up, as best as we can. It's not perfect, that's okay. I'm going to do the best we can with this, because the whole idea is to make it fun, right? So I'm going to fold across the top, and now we have the shape. See that? Okay. And the reason we did that, we aren't going to keep it all folded up like this, but this gives us some lines. We're going to be cutting on these lines. Please make sure when you use your scissors, use them carefully. You don't want to cut clothes or hair, or certainly not fingers, right? That would not be fun. So instead, take your scissors, and we're going to cut. You made two lines, one line right through the middle. That was our hamburger line. And then we need to cut this line, so we end up with four pieces. You ready? So we're going to cut, oops, there we go. Just do the best you can, because it's all good for the beauty of the earth. Isn't the earth beautiful right now? I'm seeing flowers come out in my garden. You seeing them in your garden yet? Maybe some dandelions. Those are beautiful and yellow. I see some daffodils. I don't think I have any tulips coming up yet. I don't know. There might be, I haven't looked. So now, I have four pieces. Do you have four? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's exactly what we need. All right, we're going to do this one at a time. And each time, my guess is you're going to get better and better at doing this. So we will do a bunch of folding, and then we're going to do some cutting and coloring. So here we go. We're going to take one piece, start with just one. And right now, this piece is in the shape of a rectangle. Do you know what a rectangle is? Yeah, good. A rectangle is where you have two short sides. You'll notice these two sides are the same length, and two longer sides. So we call that a rectangle. You can surprise your teacher and tell them, yeah, I know that's a rectangle. But we need to turn this into a square. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take one corner. So choose a corner. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose my left corner. And I'm going to fold it down till, do you see how I'm kind of folding it downwards till it meets my other cut side? I want it to line up with my cut sides. So I want it to line up. Oops, let me show you. There we go. Lines up so that these sides are together. They're all lined up. And you'll notice you have this kind of extra piece. So when we do that, I'm going to smush it down. This could be a little tricky. If you didn't get it the first time, that's okay. You can always refold it. That's the nice thing about folding. You can refold it. Until you cut it, you're good. But when you're done, you're going to have a shape that looks kind of like this. You see that? And we're going to cut this edge piece off. We don't want that piece. So you kind of see a line right here, and we're going to cut across that line. And I'm going to show you what I mean. You ready? See if I can do this and show you at the same time. So if here's my line, maybe, here we go, I'll do it this way. So I'm going to cut right on this line. Gone. So now I have a triangle. How do I know it's a triangle? Because it has 3 sides. So I turned my rectangle by folding it in half. I turned it into a triangle. But watch. When I open this up, it is a square. Woohoo! How do I know it's a square? Because all these sides, these 4 sides, are the same length. And that's what we needed. That's what we just did. We're going to do this again, I promise. But, all right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to fold that again to my triangle. Can you put it back into your triangle? Yeah, fold it carefully. Very good. All right, now we're going to fold this in half. Ready? Fold it in half. Okay. See that? So I fold it in half. Now I'm going to squish down my fold line. There we go. Now I've got another triangle. It's just smaller. Now be careful because we want to keep our cut sides all together. These are all cut sides. These sides on the bottom. So we're going to fold it in half one more time. Right across like that. Do you see point to point? Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to line up the bottom. I want the bottom to line up so it's nice and straight. And my 2 folded sides, this angle is going to line up. So let's go ahead and line that up. And I'm going to fold. Like that. Okay, got it? So now you have kind of, I don't know if you've ever seen people play football with these. Kind of fun to play football. But anyway, we're going to do something different with this. So, would you please turn your triangle so that all your cut sides, all my cut sides are facing upwards. And I've got my point. I'm going to hold the point by the bottom. And what you're going to do, and this will decide the shape of your flower. And I know I'm talking a lot for the first one. I won't talk so much for the other ones. But you're going to make a cut across the top here. And I'll show you what I mean. You can cut just a nice curve. Just straight across. Or you could do an up and down and up and down. I think I'm going to do up and down and up and down. See what I did? I cut off that top piece. So now, instead of having a flat top, I have these little curly whirlies. Okay? So, let's unfold it. This is the exciting part. You get to see what your flower is going to look like. So we're going to unfold it. Oh, my flower is kind of a squarish flower. That's interesting. But that's okay, because all flowers are a little bit different. And this is just my flower. That's my idea of a flower. And I think, what color is your flower going to be? I'm going to color my flower purple this time. So I'm going to take my purple, and you can color it as much or as little as you want to. I'm just going to color kind of straight lines going out from the middle. I'll show you what I'm doing. But you can color your flower any way you want to. There's my flower. Can you see that I kind of colored it? Maybe I want a little bit more color over on this side. I notice it's hard to see. I'll make my purple a little bit darker so that you can see it. Okay, so there's my purple flower. And I would like, have you ever looked into the middle of a flower? Oftentimes it's yellow in that middle. Sometimes, depending on the flower, it could be brown. It could be almost black. But I'm going to use my yellow. I think I'm going to make the middle of my flower. I'm going to put a circle kind of like a little button. There we go. There's the middle of my flower. All right, so this is one flower. We aren't done. We're going to make 3 more, okay? So I'm going to set this flower aside, and now we're going to take the second piece. And we're going to do the same thing we did last time, because we need to turn our rectangle, see our rectangle shape? We need to turn it into our square. So take 1 point. Again, I don't know why I always like taking the left point. And I'm going to pull it down like this. And you'll notice you're going to have 1 pointy end and 1 flat end. I want to line up my cut sides. It's a little bit tricky. What do you think? Is this a little bit tricky? There, now they line up. Do yours line up? Right along here. So you have this angled side, and I'm going to smush it down. And I don't know if you can see it already. Do you see the triangle? It's right here. There's our triangle that we're going to want. But we need to cut this side off. So let's cut that one off. Just a little bit harder to do. Maybe a little bit. Okay. It's all right. I know you're doing a great job. So this is the part we're cutting off. You see that? So we're going to cut that part off because I don't want that. We want to make it into a nice square. Here we go. Oops. Make it in a triangle first, and then when we unfold it, it's a square. So here's my triangle. There's my folded side. Here's my cut sides. And you notice we did it right because we have our square, and that's our goal with this. All right, so fold it in back to the way it was. Nice fold. Oh, good fold. Nice job. Fold it in half. Fold it in half. And there it is, and smush it down. Smush, 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 smush. Good. And here are my cut sides. You'll notice I'm keeping my cut sides upwards when I do this. I'm going to fold it in half again. Here we go. Fold, fold, fold. There it is in half again. And smush, 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 smush. If you want to, you could fold it again. You can fold it as many times as you want to. It depends how many petals you want to have on your flower. It's up to you. So if you would like to, you can always fold it again. That's your choice. That's fine. I'm just going to fold it that many times. I think we folded it twice. And this time I'm going to show you. I'm going to draw a curve shape, and I'll show you what this looks like. Looks kind of, what would you say that looks kind of like? Kind of like a flat rainbow or something. So I drew this. And I'm going to cut along that line. And the reason I drew that for you to see is I want you to see what my flower looks like. I'm going to cut on that line. It's just that nice little curve. Looks kind of like, when you do that, looks kind of like an ice cream cone when you're done. So that ice cream cone shape makes really a very cute flower. If you like the ice cream cone shape instead, let's open it up, see what the flower looks like. Okay? You can make as many of these little flowers as you want for your picture. And each flower could be different. You could cut them differently, color them differently. They're all great. You see how this one turned out? So this one's a little bit different. I like that. That's kind of a different shape. And this time, I think I'm going to make this a pink flower. So here we go. You can make it any color you would like. I'm coloring my pink flower. And there's my pink flower. Colored all pink. I think I'm going to make this middle brown. Do I have a brown? Maybe. Nope, nope, I don't see a brown. I'll make it orange. That sounds like a fun color. I'll make it orange in the middle. So now I have 2 done. I have my purple and my pink. So let's do it again. You ready? Now, if I start going too fast, you're always welcome to pause the video and make yours and color yours. Or if I'm going too slowly, you can always speed it up. Either one is good. Okay, take the corner and fold it down. Oops, I chose the wrong corner. See, and that confused me. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make my little pointy guy. Fold it down. There he is. There he is. So there's my point. Smush him down. Smush, 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 smush. There it is. And we're going to cut off this piece. Remember, we don't want that piece. We are not using rectangles today. We're going to use squares. So make sure you cut off that little piece on the edge. We don't want that piece. We can use it later for something else. You could make leaves out of that. You could make little tiny flowers. That might be cool. That's kind of an idea. All right. So now we've got it this way. See how I've got my fold? So I'm going to fold it in half. There it is in half. I know it's half because it's two same size pieces. And go smush, 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 smush. And got my point again. I'm always holding on to that point because that helps me fold it in half. I'm going to fold it in half again. There we go. Is yours getting smaller like that? Now I'm going to make it into an ice cream cone again. I kind of like that shape. So I'm going to draw my curve. And you'll notice these are my cut sides. I always cut on the cut sides, not on the foldy sides. Otherwise you'll end up cutting it in half. And I don't know if you want to do that. You could. I don't know. If that's really what you wanted to do. Remember, this is yours. So however it ends up, it's a beautiful thing. All right, so I drew my curve. And I'm going to cut on that curve because I kind of like that shape. Do you have an ice cream cone as well? Does that sound good? I would love a chocolate ice cream cone. That would be my fave. All right, unfold it. See how the flower looks. There you go. And let's see, what color flower do I want in my garden? I have pink, I've got purple. How about a red flower? And then I'm going to do one more. My beautiful red flower. Oh, looks great. Yeah? What color did you do? Something different? That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and I'd like what color in the middle? Oh, I think I'll put black in the middle of this one. That'll be kind of cool. So now I've got 3. Do you have 3 flowers? Okay, we need one more flower for our garden. Now remember, if you just want to do 2, you can do 2, you can do 1, you can keep going and use another piece of paper. It just depends how many you want in the garden. So we're going to fold, I'm going to fold one more and take my corner and fold it down. Getting good at this now? Yeah, I thought you would. And there we go. I've got my point. So I'm going to smush down my folded side, make it nice and foldy. There we go. And I'm going to cut off my extra piece. Remember, we want a square, not a rectangle. So cut right along that line. Did you remember to do that? Yeah, good. Good, good. So I've got it's a triangle right now. I'm holding the folded side, but you know if I unfold it, there's my square. That's what I wanted. So holding onto the foldy side, just fold it in half. And if you've got a little, see how I got a little marker on mine? If you got some marker on yours, that's okay. It's all good. We're just making these our own beautiful flowers. So there, I folded it in half. I'm going to smush down the folded side. And I'm holding the point. Make sure you hold the point. I'm going to fold it in half again. Oop. There we go. I'm going to smush down the folded side. Just for fun, would you like to fold it one more time so you can see what it looks like? If you'd like to, you can go ahead and fold it again. It's kind of hard. Oof. There we go. You can fold it one more time. It makes just kind of a skinny ice cream cone, but it's still an ice cream cone. You see that little line there? I'm going to make my curve just below that line. Watch. So my black fell on the floor, but I'll use a purple. And I drew my curve. There it is. Still my same curve, it's just below that line. And I'll cut that, and I think you're going to see this flower will just have more petals. As many times as you fold it, gives it more petals. So now there's 2 petals, there's 4 petals, keeps doubling. There's 8 petals. So this flower, wow, whoops, can I unfold it? There it is. Lots and lots. So it looks a little bit different. This is the one that I just folded twice, and this one I folded 3 times. It's up to you. They're all just different. Okay, and I think since I have a purple one and a red one and a pink one, I'm going to make this one orange. Okay, so color in your flower. We're doing this is the last one we're going to do. There's a lot of flowers in our garden. What do you think? Is that pretty good? Yeah, you're coloring yours more than mine? That's fine. Make it whatever color, however you would like to do it. And I'm going to put, I'm going to put yellow again, I think, in the middle. And now I get to decide, where do I want the flowers in my garden? Where would I like to plant my flowers? Because I have 4 flowers, and they're going to go in my picture. So you need to choose. If you have glue, the nice thing about a glue stick, if I use my glue stick, and I'll do one of each so you can see, and you can choose, do you want to use glue? Do you want to use the tape? They're both good. So if I use my glue stick, let me open it up a second. There it is. I'm going to put a spot of glue right here. Okay? So I'm just going to use my glue stick. And since I have purple glue, can you see my purple spot right there? Okay. And I'm going to choose my purple flower for this one. And I want the color side outside. And I'm going to press hard on the middle. That's where I want to press. So I'm going to press against my purple spot of glue, right like that. I'm pressing, pressing, pressing. And now I just planted a purple flower in my garden. That was fun, wasn't it? You're planting your own garden. Okay, now I'm going to show you, if you'd rather, you can make tape curls. So if I use my tape instead, I'm going to pull off, not a big piece, kind of a small piece, maybe about that long. And I'm going to curl it backwards so it's sticky side out. This is kind of sticky. And I'm going to put one side against the next. These can be a little tricky, but this made, you see it made kind of a little loop. And that loop, the reason I did that, oops, I almost dropped it, is so I can choose a place to put my tape curl. Whichever way you want to do this. If you've got the glue is the easiest. But we can also use the tape curls. So I think I'm going to put my next flower down here. So I'm going to put my little tape curl. Can you see it? I'm trying to make sure you can see it. There it is. Okay. And I'm going to use my pink flower. So I'm going to hold it in the middle just like before. And I'm going to touch my tape curl right like that. And now I've got my pink flower in my garden. And you can put the other 2 wherever you'd like them to be. I think I'm going to use my glue stick. It's up to you, however you want to do it. And where should I put my next one? Maybe up here somewhere? Okay. All right, that's a good idea. Okay, I like that. Okay, and I'm going to touch. Remember, hold it by the middle so you can touch it, put it so it's color side out. We want to see the beauty of these flowers. So we're going to press in the middle. And now I've got 3. And I think I'll put my last one right down here. It's going to kind of overlap, but that's okay. That's fine. A lot of times flowers overlap, they cover over each other a little bit. As long as I can see the sunshine, right? Flowers like the sun, definitely. Okay, and I'm going to touch the middle. Ugh. And there's my flowers. Now what do my flowers need? Flowers need to have flower stems, don't they? So I'm going to use my green color to draw some stems for my flower. And I think this is kind of an interesting, kind of a blue-green, but I'll use that. And I'm going to draw a stem for my purple flower coming down, and maybe my pink flower. Let's see. I think I'm going to make this a curvy stem. How do you think? Does that look like a stem coming out of the flower? And then I'll make a stem for my pink flower. Maybe it'll come down like this. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know. Can I draw maybe a little stem coming out of the orange one? Maybe a little one. I don't know if you can see it, kind of in the background. I don't know if I have room for my red flower very well. Maybe he won't have a stem. That's all right. And you can draw some leaves to go on your stems. So there's a leaf. Excuse me. There's a leaf. A leaf. Those look like leaves, maybe? I think I'm going to put some more green in my grass. Now's the chance for you to add to your pictures in any way that you want, because we've got our flowers and there's our beautiful garden. And this is one that I made. As I said, I made some others. I don't know. How did yours turn out? Can you show me? Yeah, great. You're doing a nice job. Yeah, so this one, oops. This one's a little bit different. I made some little flowers. Do you remember how I told you could use your scraps and make some little flowers? You could do that too. But when you're done, you're going to have a beautiful garden, just like when you go outside into God's world to celebrate the beauty of April and the beauty of God's world. Enjoy making your flowers. It was fun to do that with you. Thank you. I'll talk to you another time. Bye-bye.